Tony, you have a really interesting countercurrent call on ECB. You think they will raise to 0.25%, but then that's it for the next 5 years.
Right. So it's, of course, not likely that the ECB will raise its policy rate until sometime next year, probably in the latter half, from its minus 0.4% to something less negative, call it minus 0.25. It'll probably get into positive territory in 2020. Eventually, it'll get to maybe 0.25, perhaps 0.5, but then have to pull it back to zero somewhere in a 5-year horizon. So what I'm saying is that Pimco thinks that the policy rate will go no higher than 0.25 to 0.5% over a 5-year horizon. And in Japan, just to add something else into it, probably stay near zero in that 5-year period. The Fed rate near 3 or so, perhaps. And so this period of low interest rates, it's here to stay, in our opinion.
Tony, you take a look at euro dollar, and I got a 5-year chart up here. I think it's actually a 4-year chart now. And there's a nice little head and shoulders to the right-hand side of this chart. And if you kind of follow through to the logical extension of that, it would take you down to 105 on euro dollar. In your scenario, how low does the currency get if that rate differential gets as wide as you're expecting it to be?
Well, it's an interesting chart, Guy, and for your scenario to play out may take a longer period of time, because what's ahead of us is this debate next year over how high the Fed will go with its policy rate. What's already priced in is that it'll raise it another point to about 2.75%. But the market will have to decide, like it did in 2004 through 06, is this where it ends? In 04 to 06, the market decided that the policy rate would end in the low 4s, and the 10-year held around the low 4s, not logically. But then it decided in early 06 that the policy rate would eventually go to 5.25%. And where did the 10-year stop? 5.296%. And so where the dollar goes relative to the euro will depend upon the debate that occurs next year as to whether or not what's priced in today, the 2.75% rate, is enough.